Hey everyone, welcome to Norm's Workshop. I'm Norm, and today in the workshop we are right in the middle of restoring our KitchenAid stand mixer. Stay tuned, we'll take you through some more steps. This is part 2 of a 3-part series. If you followed part 1, then your mixer should already be fully disassembled. And in part 3, we'll grease and reassemble it. Here in part 2, we'll show you how to give your mixer a great new look. So pick out a color that's totally you, and stay tuned. Oh, and don't forget to press that like or subscribe button if we're helpful, because it's about to get exciting here in the workshop. Advanced paint preparation and spray painting experience are required to do this part of the project. Now, no special tools are required, but you will need household cleaning supplies, sandpaper, Scotch-Brite pads, and good masking tape. This is only going to take a few hours of work, but it will require several days to allow for paint drying and curing. And then the cost for spray paint and supplies should be less than $25. All of the mechanical parts were cleaned during disassembly. Now we can attack the outer housing surfaces with a variety of strong household cleaners. While you're cleaning, don't forget to take care of the power cord and any trim parts that you'll be reusing. Preparing the surfaces for painting is critical. Take a Scotch-Brite pad or fine sandpaper and scuff all of the painted surfaces. Also, clean up the bowl lift handle, the bowl pins, and any other unpainted surfaces by using the Scotch-Brite pad itself. Re-clean all surfaces with alcohol or mineral spirits and then allow them to dry. Carefully mask all of the non-painted surfaces. Things like the gear housings, the motor, etc. This will protect them from any overspray during the painting process. When it comes to spray painting, sometimes it's more about the color you're trying to achieve rather than the paint brand you may prefer. This time around, Krylon Fusion offered the perfect color, matte ink blue. We're going to spray 2 coats of color, and then we're going to follow it up with 2 coats of semi-gloss clear. Be sure to use a clear coat that's compatible with the paint. I generally make sure that the paint and the clear coat come from the same brand and paint series. You need to carefully choose your painting zone. There's a lot of different things to consider, but safety is our top priority. Gloves, masks, and eye protection are strongly recommended. The paint zone also needs to be well ventilated throughout the painting and the drying process. I chose my garage as the perfect painting zone. It offered a large work area where the paint overspray would not damage anything. My garage is sealed from the house and the outdoors, and is also climate controlled to stay at room temperature with average humidity. This will minimize the airborne dust and help with the painting and the drying process. After spraying, I open my garage doors for quick and easy ventilation of my space. Your parts don't need to dry in the same area where they were painted. I moved my parts outside for drying, which is great for ventilation, but you need perfect weather. In my case, it was sunny but not extremely hot. There was absolutely no breeze and no pollen or dust particles moving around in the air. And best of all, I used a fast dry paint, which shortens the amount of time that dust can attract to those wet and sticky surfaces. Spray a nice light, even coat of paint over the entire surface. Allow it to dry, and then spray another coat over it. Always follow the manufacturer's recommendations for drying and recoating times. Let the paint dry a full 24 hours or more before setting up for clear coating. Once the paint has had time to dry, we can now apply the clear coat. Spray a light, even coat of clear over the entire surface, and allow it to dry, and then spray a second coat. If you have the patience, now is a great time to walk away from this entire project for the next 4 to 5 days. Although the paint may be dry in 24 hours, it is definitely not cured. Allowing several days of curing time will reduce the chance of damage during greasing or reassembly. Spoiler alert, I allowed 4 full days of curing time before reassembly, and I still put a small screwdriver scratch in the finish during reassembly. Once the paint and the clear coat have thoroughly cured, we can now remove the mask. Carefully peel away the mask from each of the parts and make sure that everything is painted properly and ready for reassembly. If you've gotten this far, your mixer should now be gorgeous, freshly painted pieces spread out all over your work table. It's almost time for us to put them back together. If this video was helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Well, now you can click the link below to jump directly to part 3, where I promise we will grease and reassemble that pretty pile of parts on your bench. If you somehow watched part 2 and completely missed part 1, well, that link is below also. Tune in again. It's always exciting in the workshop.